be here, and I know lots of people on the call, so hello to everybody who knows me and welcome to all of those who don't. I am very much an educator practitioner, so that's why I've chosen the Blackboard background today, because I want you to understand, although this is a super sales strategy seminar on LinkedIn, I don't want you to feel as if I'm selling you anything. I'm hopefully going to be able to teach you lots of things today. And Laura, I've given her permission to email this presentation to you, because as I go through it, you'll see that there's quite a lot of extra links and extra information. So to start off with, and this is a very brief précis of my career, I started work at Westpac in Adelaide 6 days after my last Year 12 exam in 1982, and I moved to Melbourne in 1994, and I haven't had a real job since. So I call myself a gigster, a person who uses technology to attract aligned gigs, which is also the title of my fourth book. You might be able to see in the background there. I'm a volunteer, so today is a voluntary work, although I did spend quite a lot of hours putting this together, and I'm a member of a lot of different professional associations, and I believe it's really important to support local business associations, professional associations for your industry or your profession. So I just joined Arts Hub this week, so I think, I don't know, there's about 7 of them that I'm a member of now. I joined LinkedIn on the 21st of December 2003, so that makes me one of the first 80,000 people in the world on the platform, and I started consulting on it in 2008. I've been recognised by the Social Media Marketing Institute as one of the top 10 LinkedIn experts in the Asia Pacific region for the last 2 years. They haven't announced them for 2020 yet. And my first book was 120 Ways to Achieve Your Purpose with LinkedIn. And as Laura mentioned, my 5th book is coming out on the 23rd of November, LinkedIn for Me and My Career or Business. This one is written with, because a lot of people think they know about LinkedIn and they don't. And so I'm going to explain a lot of the technical components, but in a user-friendly way so people can really maximize that opportunity. And at the book launch, which is also free, I'm going to be showcasing a few more of the free features. But I do only have 30 minutes to get through this morning. So I thought I'd share with you a couple of mottos that I live by. The first one is not what you know or who you know, it's who or what refers you. So what could be Google or LinkedIn, and how you can be verified. Your network is your net worth. That's an oldie but a goodie. It's never too late. So don't think that, you know, just because you haven't done these things before, it's too late. It's not. No time is ever wasted, but it can be spent more wisely from now on. If you want some help on that, speak to Rob Chiaroli. And from now on, rather than redo what you've done. So if you try and think about, I'm going to fix up all of my past stuff, that's just going to take too long. Just say that from now on, I'm going to do X, and away you go. Obviously, I'd like you to take some action from this session. And my mother always taught me to say thank you. So please take time after this event to thank the Whitehorse Business Group, and perhaps me and Laura and Kieran and everybody else you know in the group for their amazing service in 2020. My favourite quote of all time, which came off of a date block in the 80s, was occupation is the necessary basis of all enjoyment. And I don't know about you, but I find that when I'm doing something, I'm kind of having fun. So yeah, that's one of my favourites. So what I'd like you to do right now is type in the chat, number 1, just type in 1, if you don't like selling and you like customers to come to you, or number 2, if you like selling and you're okay with reaching out and trying to get a sale. So fire away in the chat. How many 1s and 2s do we have? Because I'd be really interested to know that. Oh, we got several 2s. Fantastic. Some more 1s, more 2s. Fantastic. Well, really interesting that we've got 1s and 2s in that, because I'm a 1. I don't like selling. You know, in fact, I'm actually probably quite good at it, but it's not something that I feel comfortable with. And I think there's a lot of Australians who don't feel comfortable. And there was one student in one of my classes, and he said, trying to get everything from Sue in one session is trying to drink water out of a fast flowing hose. So I guarantee you there's going to be loads of stuff coming to you in this session. And what I'd like you to think about as I'm talking is what has been most helpful for you today. So keep thinking, oh, that's helpful, that's helpful. Oh no, that's better than the other one. Because I'd really like you to write those things in the chat. That's really good for Laura and Kieran, who can save the chat, report back to the board and say, this is what people got out of this workshop, and it's been really, really helpful for everyone. So as I go through, make a note of what's going to be most helpful and what you might be able to implement from this session. So my number one tip is abide by the LinkedIn user agreement. How many of you have attempted to? Look at that. Section 8 is really important. It's the do's and don'ts of LinkedIn. And one of them is everybody's pet hate is they connect with somebody and then they start pitching. Oh, hi, I offer blah, blah, blah. As soon as you connect, and that's really annoying, and you will get a bad reputation. And if you do it to me, I'll actually report you because I just can't stand it, and it ruins the platform for all those nice, honest people out there. Do not automate or aggravate. So you're not allowed to use any automation tools on LinkedIn, and so there are some around. You're not allowed to use them. And also, if you annoy people on a regular basis, LinkedIn has very sophisticated algorithms that detect naughty behavior, and they will either pause your account or delete your account without warning if you do these things. Do not spam or try to find your next love partner interest on LinkedIn. There's a few women and men who've been approached inappropriately on LinkedIn. So don't spam, don't date, and don't mention, all your best friends and hope that they'll engage with your posts in the newsfeed, because if you do and the algorithm detects that nobody engages with it, your post will die anyway. So just mention the people who are really interested in your content. Don't try and email 50 or message 50 people at once within the platform, because if one person replies, then 49 other people get that message. So it's really annoying. So don't group message people, and don't humble brag. Oh, it was so amazing that I did this. Nobody cares, but it's okay to celebrate achievements, but please give somebody information at the same time. So whilst I'm launching my book launch, if I'm promoting my book launch, I'll tell people that I'm going to be showing them, new features of LinkedIn, and there'll be something there to go for, or I'll put that in the post. So don't just say I'm fabulous, say I'm fabulous and here's something for you at the same time. And there's a rule on social media that 70% should be information, 20% should be sharing of others, and 10% could be sales. There's some coaches out there who actually believe you don't need to sell. If you just provide amazing value, people will automatically say, they're always putting up great stuff. I might as well just call them and find out what they do. So you don't have to always be selling. I'm not saying you can't sell, but just be aware that sometimes, just being a fabulous contributor is really good. This link on the bottom of this page is what I send to anyone who says, I want all your information for free and I don't want to pay for it. But they want sales out of LinkedIn. So if you want the shortcut to getting sales, please read that article. My next tip, sorry, we're not moving at the moment, we'll try again, is to update your LinkedIn profile. And this is the one that every salesperson wants to avoid. Nobody wants to tell their story online. But if you don't put your keywords in your headline underneath your name, you simply will not be found. So if you just say, I help people feel amazing, and you're a coach, nobody's going to be looking for somebody who makes them feel amazing. They're going to be looking for a coach, or they might be looking for a business coach or a psychological coach, whatever it is. So please give yourself a label that's full of keywords, and put multiple keywords. And please stalk me as often as you like on LinkedIn after this event if you want to pinch any ideas. My LinkedIn profile is not like the plumber's plumbing. Your photo needs to be attractive to your clients and customers. I can shout out to Rob again. He takes photos. And complete as many sections as you can. Save a copy of your profile to PDF and get a copy of your data which will have a list of all of your connections, and try and get these statistics up. You would want to have at least 500 connections and followers, at least 100 or more views per 90 days, at least 50 appearances in search results for the last 7 days, and at least 6 recommendations that you've both given and received. So this could be a nice time to get in before Christmas and surprise somebody with a wonderful recommendation. They'll be so happy to receive it. One lawyer said to me, oh, I said, why don't you give out any recommendations? And he says, well, nobody asked me, which I thought was kind of funny. But this cheat sheet link tells you how to fill in your profile. And my motto again, not what you know or who you know, it's who or what can refer you. So if those keywords are not in there, you won't be found. And then if they see the recommendations, you can be verified. Okay, next. I'll just move the chat box out of the way. It's moving. I can't see what's on the screen. Create your tribe. So who are they? What do they look like? And where do they play? So you can find them through search on LinkedIn. You can do research. So you can, find a company, see who's following and interacting. So you can do some sort of digging around, research, and observation. So who's engaging? Who keeps popping up in the Whitehorse business group and corresponding with posts? Can you provide services to them? You can connect to individuals. You can also follow companies and schools. So you might have noticed now, if you have a company profile, that you can invite your connections to follow the company profile. So watch out. I'm sure Laura will be inviting you all to follow the Whitehorse Business Group company profile, because obviously the more people that follow the company profile, the better that is for your business group. And when you're thinking about who to connect to, don't forget to invite all your staff, your stakeholders, clients, suppliers, any VIPs, friends, family, fans. I've got a few of those who come to Camberwell Network. And everyone you meet from now on, please invite them to connect with you on LinkedIn so that they can remember what you do and they can follow up later. If you run out of the ability to keep searching within LinkedIn, you can do an advanced Google search, type in details in the keywords box, and in the site box down the bottom on that screen, you can do linkedin.com, and Google advanced search will go through the whole of LinkedIn and find people. Perhaps you could do a keyword search on Whitehorse and connect with everybody who mentions Whitehorse on their LinkedIn profile. That could be a really good strategy for you to engage hyperlocally. And as I said before, your network is your net worth. The next thing is you want to engage with your tribe. So like, comment, and share the posts in the newsfeed and the articles that people can write, or you can write, on your own LinkedIn profile. You can give referrals, respond to messages, give endorsements for skills. So definitely Laura and Kieran could be event management and those sorts of things. So you can just visit their profile, give them a big tick. And as I said before, give and receive recommendations. But be warned, they can be used in court. So please don't say anything that's, untrue. Just focus on the things that you've seen and observed from that person. And I like to encourage people on social media to be the nice auntie or uncle. And I'm sure we can all think of one or two people who always like our stuff. Isn't it nice when they like our stuff? And we think very fondly of those people. So people do respond to you just recognizing. So rather than thinking, I've got to produce all this content, why don't you just like everybody else's stuff for a while? It's a lot easier. But that said, if there's a video, please watch it, because I'm really reluctant to, and if there's a link to some article, I do check them before I like or comment or share. And if you want some more tips on engaging, curating, or creating content, you can follow that link. And remember, it's never too late. Okay, next one is inform your tribe. So depending on how much time you want to spend on LinkedIn, you can either post once a week, not 6 times a day, as I found out in one seminar, or if you're a little bit, busy and prefer other platforms, you can just do once a month. But still, just do something on a regular basis and post on your personal profile and on your company profile. You can write articles, and I'd suggest if you want to be active, once a month. I've seen Con put out quite a lot of articles over the years, or at least 3 times a year. Add in the features section in the top of your profile, perhaps with a video or a show reel of what you do, especially if you do coaching or speaking. In every section, you'll quite often see where you can link to media or a website. So put those in, fill in projects, and you can do voice messages. So if you don't like typing, press the microphone down on your phone and you can do a voice message. They've got a really high uptake of people listening to them. You can still send texts, you can add in emojis. And if you'd like to make your post go more viral or learn how to write search engine optimized articles, you can follow those links. And remember, no time's wasted, but it can be spent more wisely from now on. The next thing is you need to be consistent. So start with those profile updates and then set a manageable schedule for what you're going to do on LinkedIn and stick to it. And for the average punter, I'd say 20 minutes a week is all you need, not 20 minutes a day. So please don't think I'm trying to sell you into, LinkedIn zombie land. That's definitely not the case. For as long as I can, I will always respond to all comments I receive on social media. But if you get really popular, I understand that's not achievable, but as long as you can, I do encourage it. And provide value before you ask for sales. If you do connect with somebody and you want to use that as a strategy moving forward, why don't you offer them a free white paper on, top X related to your service offering? And you can ask for a sale in your content on your LinkedIn. So all over my LinkedIn profile, it gives you details of, you can email me, you can message me, here's my website, here's my services link. You'll see it all over my LinkedIn profile. And also be aware that anything you do on LinkedIn is also going to tell LinkedIn what you like. So I accidentally spent too long scrolling over a picture of a dog one day. Yes, a dog was on LinkedIn. And then, of course, all these dog pictures started coming up in my news feed. So that's called dwell time. And so if your content encourages people to look for a little bit longer, then, that's really helpful to you. But it also signals to the algorithm that you kind of really like this content. And if you're not sure how to write that summary for your purpose, you can follow that link. And remember, from now on, rather than redo what you've done, just do things from now on. Next one is to be creative. And you can start digging a little bit deeper once you've got your profile set up and you're following the right companies. You can look at who's engaging with the content. Joe Blogs from Singapore has said something, could you help Joe Blogs from Singapore? Can you provide answers for people? Because that can be very helpful. What are the trends? What are you noticing? Some of you may have noticed that on the mobile phone, you can now add stories to LinkedIn, video stories that last 24 hours. I put one up and I thought, this is a waste of my time. I can't stand doing videos and it only lasts for 24 hours. That's not a big enough return on investment for me. So I scrapped the whole idea. But, for other people, it's kind of their thing. So, try it if you think it's going to work for your people you want to sell to. Look at what your competition is doing, both here and overseas. Remember that Australia is a small market, but if you can connect with a bigger market overseas and offer the same service, it can be really helpful to you. Who you could collaborate with. And we all know it's much quicker to have a strategic alliance and have those referrals coming straight in than it is to cherry pick individuals. So could you find somebody that you could have a joint venture with? So for me, I specialize in LinkedIn, but one of my clients had no idea of all of his passwords and his backups and all of that sort of stuff. So I immediately referred him to somebody else who can set him up for all of that. So, there's lots of people in my network that I pass work on to, even to other LinkedIn trainers, because I realize this person's not quite the right fit for me. And remember, of course, particularly in small business, up to 85% is still done by referral. So, connecting with all those people and reminding them that you still exist can be very helpful. If you've still got doubts, check out that business case for LinkedIn piece. And remember, take action from today. The next thing is to be smart. So everybody who has looked at your LinkedIn profile is technically a warm lead. So anybody who's in sales will know it's better to get a warm lead than a cold lead. So I've known people who've just literally subscribed to Premium, and for the last 90 days, they've checked everybody who's looked at their LinkedIn profile and reached out to them with some useful content. So, great way to get leads immediately there. Every fan, supporter, or VIP needs to be recognised and thanks for their amazing contribution. That's really important in 2020. So many people do work that we just forget that we appreciate, and it doesn't take too long to say thank you. So I really encourage you to do that. Everyone on LinkedIn expects you to be professional and not overly personal. There's another person who I've seen on LinkedIn, a female with long hair, who wears clothing without a top, like it's off the shoulder. So when she's on video camera, it looks like she's naked in front of the camera. And I'm thinking, no wonder she has so many views of her videos, because everybody's wondering whether she's got clothes on or not. That's just a little bit too revealing for my kind of thing. As you can see, I'm wearing a nice high neck skivvy today, because I want the focus to be on my eyes, not on my body. So yeah, just think about how personal you really want to be. I don't think it's appropriate on a professional network. If you find anybody annoying, you can remove them. They won't be notified that you've removed them. Definitely encourage you to report bad behavior, because I see LinkedIn as the goose that laid the golden egg. And if people do naughty things on there, they're going to ruin it for the rest of us. So I'm quite willing to report bad behavior. And if you need help, definitely get some. And also, some people say, oh yeah, I need to do more Facebook ads. I get so much work out of that. And then they check their stats on their website and they find they get more traffic from LinkedIn than they do from Facebook. So, check out your Google Analytics and find out how much business is actually coming through, and make sure your links all through your profile. And remember, if somebody's on an Android phone, even if your link is in text on the screen, it will be clickable on an Android phone. So definitely worth popping your link in multiple places throughout your LinkedIn profile. Now, here is a link to a PDF produced by LinkedIn on sales strategies. It's very complicated, if you ask me. A lot easier to understand what I've written, but I'm sure there's some of you who want to really do a deep dive into selling on LinkedIn, and that's from the horse's mouth. So feel free to check that one out. And as I said before, say thank you. Next one is use the tools. So for those of you who have unusual, I shouldn't say unusual, I'd say unfamiliar names to the Australian public, I really encourage you to pronounce your name in your mobile phone. There's a little record button so that people can know how to pronounce your name. And you can use the stories, as I said before, voice messages, QR codes. So even if you just have a nice outdoor meeting in a coffee shop, it's 20 times safer to meet outdoors, according to public health professionals. So please meet outdoors for as long as you can. But anyway, on your phone, you can use press My Network, QR code, and then you can just sort of scan each other's details, and you can connect on LinkedIn without touching anything. So that's a very handy phone tool. They used to have like a dating tool that would scan the local area and you could connect to everybody, but they've removed that feature. The news feed, you can add native video, and if you upload your video to YouTube and then download your captions, when you upload your video to LinkedIn, you can upload your captions, and then that means that people can watch your video without the sound on. And for people who have audio issues, it can be really helpful for them to have those captions there, or if they're secretly watching at work and they don't want their boss to see. So yeah, either way. I'm going to recommend that Laura add these PowerPoint slides to a post on the Whitehorse Business Group, because PowerPoint PDFs appear as a little carousel, and they're getting a lot more engagement in the news feed than just images or videos at the moment. So that's just working right now. Yep, feel free once you get the slides, if you want to share them as well, it's perfectly fine. I share all my content because it's always changing and I'm always updating it. So I never worry if somebody steals my stuff. And it's quite interesting because I've actually popped across some other LinkedIn trainers stuff. And I thought, oh, that looks familiar. I'm perfectly fine with that. You know, share abundantly. I'm perfect. You know, the more people who get better use out of these tools, the happier I am. You can also subscribe to job alerts. And in job alerts, you can add 5 destinations. So I've added New Zealand into mine because I'd love to get some work in New Zealand. So feel free, if you want to be found in other destinations, to add that in your job alerts section. And if you want access to LinkedIn Learning and you don't want to pay for premium, you can get free access to LinkedIn Learning via your local library membership. So feel free to check that one out. I don't recommend premium unless you've done everything I've suggested first. I joined premium in September. It's taking me all this time to decide that it was worth my while, because with this book launch, I do want to reach out to the people who've looked at my profile in the last 90 days with an offer for my book and upcoming course. Sales Navigator is another premium product. And again, unless you've done everything here first, you're wasting your time pushing yourself onto others, because people will check back at your profile and decide whether they want to engage with you. And if you're thinking about sponsored ads and in-mails, I would only suggest that if you believe that your audience is regularly logging in to LinkedIn. Because even though I love LinkedIn and I'm logged in every day, most people are not logged in every day to LinkedIn. So you really want to make sure that if you're trying to reach people with that process, they are regular users of LinkedIn. And then there's a link to my new features on LinkedIn. So slide number 10, we're here, nearly here. So after you've got through all of that stuff, you can analyze and work out what works best for you and decide whether you want to focus on pull strategies where people find you and call you, which is basically what happens for me, or whether you want to push out and get leads because you've got staff and others to support. Please think about conversions rather than vanity. Just getting 3,000 people to look at your profile and then not telling them what to do means you won't get sales. So, you know, don't just attract people, make sure that you can convert them as well. I used to get a lot of inquiries from overseas for newcomers to Australia, because I set up Newcomers Network in 2001. And these people want me to pick them up at the airport, give them a job, find them a house for nothing. And I thought, you've got to be joking. You know, you're an engineer. Do you do all your engineering for free? And so I said, I charge. And then as soon as that was clear on my profile, I didn't get those queries anymore. So, you know, don't be afraid to put out, you know, this is what I do. Call me if this is what you want. You know, my number's online, my email's online. You know, I'm not going to get the work if they can't reach me. Support your advocates, ambassadors, partners, and VIPs. Anybody who refers work to you, you should diary at least every 3 months to find a way to engage with their staff and thank them for their referrals. Consider both your brand, which is how you appear online, but also your reputation, which is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So think about these things and also integrate these ideas with both your website, your other social media, and of course your Google My Business profile. Thank you, Laura, for hosting a recent webinar on Google My Business. I think every business should have Google My Business, LinkedIn, and a website. 3 essentials for every business. And also, if you've got employees or contractors, you can check out that article on ways that those people can support you on LinkedIn and why they should. So here is the direct link to say thank you to the Whitehorse Business Group. Laura, please keep a record of how many Google reviews you've got now. And let's hope by Monday you have a whole bunch more come from your loyal devotees to say thank you for the amazing services of the Whitehorse Business Group. I've asked hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people to write me reviews. And of course, I got 90. Google reviews are tough to get. So I appreciate them enormously. I can't offer you any incentives because that's against the Google agreement. But as I said earlier, please type in the chat what has been most helpful to you. This will be fantastic feedback for Kieran and Laura. And I'll also go through the chat. I can stay as long as you like now, but I do understand that it is 9:05 already and some of you may need to go. Thank you for joining this session of the Whitehorse Business Group. on LinkedIn super sales strategies.